Our next guest knows how to throw a party, and not only that, he's inviting everybody to come to his house.
Absolutely.
Or Lavelle's house. David Almodova is the Assistant Athletic Director over Marketing and Promotions at BYU. He's been working on Saturday's pregame festivities for months, and we welcome him. It's always good to have another Dave on the Wise Guys. I'm all for that, and we bring him in. David, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good. Are you ready for Saturday night?
No. Not yet.
but hey, believe me, we go to after further review today, and they're telling us, okay, now let's do a little production meeting. Let's talk about Saturday and where you guys are going to be. And we're like, so, like, you have a stage built and everything over there? And they go, no. What do you mean no?
But we will.
It's game week. They said it'll be built by Saturday. We'll have a whole stage set for you guys by Saturday. So we're not ready either, David. Don't worry about it. It'll all be ready by Saturday, right?
That's correct. That's
What is new? What is new for the fan experience coming to this game?
So we'll start at 8 a.m. that morning with the tower climb at Lavelle Stadium. For those who attended last year, it's we do that in commemorative with 9/11.
Yeah.
And so basically that'll start at 8 a.m. That morning, and away we go with the rest of the day's activities. So we have our Cougar Canyon experience will be open starting at 5 o'clock. We'll have a live band. We'll have the Cougar Walk at 6 o'clock.
Hey, Dave, do you on the Cougar Canyon? Do you have to have tickets to the game, or can you just come to the Cougar Canyon?
All fans are welcome to Cougar Canyon. You don't need a ticket to attend. Come and have fun. We'll have food trucks, and BYU Radio will be out there, and a lot of sponsorship activation and different interactive games for fans to come and be a part of.
Is the band Van Halen? Can you confirm that? Is it Van Halen that'll be performing?
Close, but no. That would be amazing. If you have connections to them, please give me their number.
I've got some connections, but not to Van Halen. That's a little beyond me. But and the good thing is the weather's going to be, the high is like 85. So once we get close to game time, it's going to feel like a little bit like a September football night. So Cougar Canyon is out in front of the stadium, which is the west side. If you're coming to that, you just find a spot to park like anywhere near the stadium along the street and then just walk in?
Absolutely. You know, another thing that we're adding, and Blaine, you kind of touched on it earlier, but we're bringing Countdown to Kickoff onto Cougar Canyon, which will be a big and a great enhancement. We've been working with Jeff Simpson, and the stage I'm excited for and what they have cooking up. Will be really exciting to have that show out on Cougar Canyon.
I know we're going to have the commissioner of the Big 12 out there with us.
Big 12 commissioner will be there.
We're going to have some Baylor folks on set with us. It's going to be very much if they've watched Game Day on ESPN, that's the feel. And we hope that fans will come join us in Cougar Canyon, do all of the things in Cougar Canyon, but be part of our audience there. And get yourself on TV. Bring some signs if you want.
And Chip Gaines is going to join us.
Is Chip joining us or Joanna? Because I wanted Joanna to join us.
Joanna's got things going on. I think it's Chip coming in.
So Chip Gaines is coming, but he's okay, but he's not Joanna.
Now, Major Clark Haymond told us that a KC-135 is going to buzz the stadium. It won't be the electrifying speed of the F-15s that we saw last year, but this is going to be kind of a cool sight because this is one big bad boy just kind of hovering in the sky. I'm curious to see it fly over.
Yes, and it's loud, so that's a good thing. We had the same aircraft fly over, I want to say in 2008 or 2009, I can't remember, but we did have this big aircraft fly over then, and they are loud, so that'll be a good touch pre-game. But again, we just want to encourage all of our fans to come early, set up a spot, go and tailgate. That's one of the best things you can do on a game day, is to enhance your family's experience by tailgating all day on Saturday. So great weather, like you said, Dave.
Yeah.
You mentioned, David, that there's few new elements in Cougar Canyon, including game day there. What about in the stadium? Are there any things we should be looking for? Like what types of things do you have planned for the in-stadium experience this year?
Sure. Still working on a few things. So we just need some approvals for some of the things we're trying to add. So we won't know until close to game day. We're going to add a few different elements to our third quarter break, which I don't want to give away just yet. So we'll wait till that night. But yeah, just always continuing to try to build the in-game experience. So it should be a lot of fun.
By the way, Blaine
and
I
need to do.
What? Go ahead.
What we need to do is have everybody come in that night to bring the noise, because we want it loud. We want it to be louder than ASU last year. So we just need fans to come and be loud.
David, you and I and Dave Nixon were standing next to each other at that Arizona State game, weren't we? And
yes, we were.
And we commented that it was deafening. Dave Nixon said, I don't even know how you think when it's this loud. And then they proceeded to, was it 3 false start penalties?
It was 4.
It was 4
false starts.
So 4 false starts
in a row.
And people want to know if the fans can have an impact on the game. Is there any question that the fans had an impact on the Arizona State outcome?
100%. And that was a key moment in the game, right? When those four false starts happened. So fans are definitely have a place and have a chance in the game to really affect the opposing team and help our team as well.
Let's talk about fireworks, which is outside of flyovers, is my favorite topic to talk about in pregame and postgame celebrations. I think you've done a great job over the years as the Cougars come out of the locker room and just the way they take the field with the fireworks going off, and nothing creates a buzz in the stadium more than explosions. And are you enhancing that? Will there be more fire in the stadium? And after the game, I know when the Cougars win, it seems like you light up the sky with a mini show.
Again, all things we're working on for this weekend and waiting for approval. So,
that tells me the answer is yes. And by the way, Blaine and I approve all of those things.
We prove it. So,
hey, and then after, it's going to be a late night, but sometimes there's dance parties out there where Cougar Canyon was before the game. Is that going to still go on this year?
Not after this game. Not this week.
Well, this one's going to be a late night.
A little too late, right?
Late night. Little too late. And hopefully fans, if they want to celebrate on their own, by all means celebrate.
So we can have an impromptu dance party out in front of the stadium.
And both of you are the DJ and MCs.
We'll do it. Hey, which is going to be better, David? BYU's victory this week, or you and I at the Masters this past spring?
That was an unbelievable experience that I'll never forget. But I really hope we play well this Saturday, and hopefully we come out on top. It'll be a tough one. It'll be a tough one.
Even Corey, who hosted David and I at the Masters this last year, and it is a big wig. I just say he runs the Asian PGA Tour because pretty much he does. Corey's a big BYU guy. People don't know that, and he joins us sometimes on the show from Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I could tell you that Corey would say he would rather see BYU beat Baylor and be at that game than be at the Masters. No question. Don't you think, David?
I'd 100% agree. Yeah, Corey's the man.
So how much stress will you be under, say, Friday night? Because Saturday's the big game.
Saturday's a big game. It started a few weeks ago, Dave, and we're just working our way till Saturday. The thing about this whole thing, though, is I have an amazing staff. Our fan experience and marketing team are amazing at what they do. And so, Anna Metcalf leads that team, and I am very confident in what we have discussed and talked about and collaborated on, that it all come to fruition on Saturday, and hopefully we can create the best experience we can for our fans.
Feels like we should do 5 questions. Should we do 5 questions
we should.
with David Almodova?
You know what? Well, somebody asked if you grew up in Laie.
Yes.
So he did grow up in Laie. That's one of the
Do you
fans
remember the
there.
Hadleys?
Yeah.
From across the street?
Yeah. Yes.
Jack Hadley is the executive producer of our show right over here.
He's sitting over here.
He's waving to you.
He said he grew up, but this was another fan.
It's like a luau now.
So there's 3 of you that are tied. Jack, we have to figure out who that was that tweeted in and asked if you grew up in Laie. So there's 3 of you from Laie. So, and then by the way,
my neighbors, I grew up right next to the Anais. They were my next door neighbors.
So there you go.
Just some reference there.
I used to play free at the old Kahuku golf course, where instead of a clubhouse there was a trailer, and I would go in and they would say some ridiculous cost when I knew it didn't cost that much, and they would say, you're not from here, and I would go, do you know that Coach Famika Nye is a good friend of mine and coached me on the JV team when I was a freshman at BYU? And they said, oh, you knew Coach Nye? And I go, yeah. And they go, Yeah, you could play for free. So then they would let me play for free. So, hey, and by the
There you
way,
go.
our boy, our buddy Corey Yoshimura he's on with us tonight from in Japan, and
Hey,
Awesome.
Corey.
he asked you how your golf game's going these days, and then he says, asked if you're going to do camo gear again for 9/11 week, and then is asking when the Sailor Cougar is going to come back on the helmet. Those are some big time questions from Corey.
Tough. I'm gonna have to call him later.
Those require longer answers.
Okay, Corey, you're going to get a call from David.
David Almodova is in charge of all the festivities. 5 o'clock, Cougar Canyon. And you heard him say you don't need a ticket to get into the stadium to come down and just experience the experience of opening night in Provo. And the flyover is like at 8:05. And so if you're in the stadium or you're near the stadium or you're anywhere in Provo, it's going to be kind of cool. Sets the tone for one of the biggest home openers in school history with 9th-ranked Baylor coming into town. All right, 5 questions for you. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, we always start with favorite sports movie.
Wow. Man, that's Friday Night Lights. I know it's not a movie, but it's a series. Does that
No,
count?
they actually had a movie also.
I know they did, but I love the series.
The series
does that count, or does it have to be
Oh,
movie?
No, you
my-
can do that.
No,
you would
you
go
can do
TV
you can do
series.
that one because Brenda and I, my wife, we got addicted to that whole thing.
If you
and
promise
and
more
binged it.
fire in the stadium on Saturday, you can do whatever you
Pick
want.
whatever you want. So we're gonna go with Friday Night Lights.
Because, Stadium of Fire
Series,
was the
the
last
series.
big event.
Yep.
And so now we have a
right.
Stadium of Fire coming on
Yep.
Saturday night.
Yep.
Favorite band or singer?
Favorite band or singer? Man, I've gotten really into country music lately, so I'm going to say Garth Brooks.
Good
Garth
choice.
Brooks.
That guy
that's-
can put on a concert.
Oh
He can
man,
put on a show.
he's one of the greatest entertainers of all time. So,
Keith Urban's in
Yes.
town next week up at
Yep.
USANA. He's
Yep.
another awesome.
so favorite breakfast cereal. This is always an interesting one.
Frosted Flakes.
old school.
I just had
old school
frosted. I
classic.
just had some Frosted Flakes before I came and did the show tonight. Just for your information, nothing better because Tony the Tiger says they're great.
Favorite ice
right.
cream. Favorite ice cream.
Guys, I'm plain Jane when it comes to ice cream. So the good old-fashioned vanilla bean ice cream.
Vanilla bean.
Anything goes great with
Hey, and
vanilla.
I'm going to go off our normal because one of our viewers, Obi Grace, says on the 5 questions, can you ask David what his actual favorite breakfast is, and if it's not Spam, eggs, and rice, is he really from Hawaii?
How about the Loco Moco?
What's Logo Moco?
Blaine, are you serious?
Yeah, tell me. I'm lost.
Yeah, I don't know either. This is
Gosh.
next level
Okay,
stuff.
Loco Moco. We have 2 hamburger patties
Mhm.
on a bed of rice with 2 fried eggs over it and brown gravy. And if you want to enhance it, you add Portuguese sausage or Spam to that meal.
That's what I'm talking about. So now here, I didn't know it was called Loco Moco, but I've eaten that when I've been over in Hawaii
Yes.
with the guys for sure. So
So
David,
that's
we were counting it up. Brenda and I were counting it up. I don't know. The kids were asking us how many times I've been to Hawaii, and we got it like 68 or something, and we stopped counting on how many times I've been over.
that's a lot of trips.
Yeah, that's a lot of trips.
Stick with Frosted Flakes. You'll never. Your favorite flyover. Your favorite
Last year's
flyover.
Utah game.
How come?
Last year's Utah game. Because what it did for the stadium, what it did for I was on that field and just I'd never felt that way after a flyover.
It's amazing.
And a lot of people around me felt the same way. And that's a lot of the feedback we got after the game that night. Obviously the win was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But second to that was everybody talked about the flyover.
You've been involved in a lot. We're asking you like 8 questions. So, but you know what? You're the guy, so we're doing it. And this can be the last one. What's your favorite BYU memory? You've been around for some of the amazing moments in BYU sports history. What's your favorite memory?
For me right now, I'm going to have to say the 2009 BYU Oklahoma game in Cowboy Stadium.
That's a
And
good
the
one.
reason I say that is going into that game, if we remember, Harvey Unga was out and you're sitting there going, how do we even compete on this stage with the number 2 ranked team in the country with 65,000 OU fans? And to come out victorious in that game, that was that was a moment I'll never forget. Obviously, there's a lot of great other moments, but that one for me in particular was amazing.
Pretty special. Pretty special.
Hey, one of our live streamers says, we love all the things David's doing with the fan experience. Keep them coming. I think everyone appreciates it.
And then, I mean, and the compliments are piling up. Although they did ask, does David sleep at all on Friday night? And then another one saying, nice job, David. You guys do an amazing job. You do a great job. Lots of folks chiming in and telling you thanks and giving you compliments here.
Hey, we
appreciate Cougar Nation. We love you guys.
David Almodova on with us. Thank you, Dave. We'll see you all day on Saturday into Saturday night.
Sounds good.
And we'll have quite a night.
And hopefully you and I can stand down on the field together sometime when the rock is needed and watch 3 straight false start penalties out of the Baylor Bears because it's so loud. Let's root for that again.
I'm ready for it.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys. Go
Cougs. See you Saturday.
We'll let you get back to work. That's a tough job that David has.
Oh my goodness!
And then all the timing. You have a pregame show that's all set on the clock, and then all of a sudden ESPN goes, we're gonna come on 10 minutes later, and then you reset the clock, and you don't know because there's a game on before. Like I think this week Kentucky and Florida play before the broadcast for BYU and Baylor, and if that game goes into overtime or whatever, all of a sudden instead of an 8:15 kick, now we're kicking at 8:25. And it's David's job then to adjust the whole pregame show. When's the band going to play? And remember last year before the Utah game, that kind of got jacked up by ESPN. So the anthem ends and the Jets aren't there yet. And Clark told us they were behind because they're coming over at a certain time,
right? Whether
or not the band is done or not. And the band went early, played early because the clock was readjusted from ESPN. And so the crowd's like chanting USA, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, these F-15s come blasting through. And so that's a lot of stress on game night.
I think about that whole fan experience outside the stadium in Cougar Canyon is under David's direction. And it doesn't end with football. Then all of the things that happen in the Marriott Center, that's David's. Every promotion and fun thing that happens at these games across sports comes under David Almodova's shop, and he just does a phenomenal job. That's a lot of moving parts and pieces and a lot of folks involved, and BYU's fan experience is second to none. It's pretty amazing.